What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to a brand new Let's Play. This is probably a little unexpected, but I felt like it was finally time for me to jump into this series, Forza Horizon. Now, you're probably wondering, why are we starting with 2? Well, the simple answer for that is the fact that I don't have the first game. However, I didn't really feel like going back to that one anyway, so we're going to be starting with 2. That said, if this does go well, I would actually like to extend this series to Forza Horizon 3 in the future, because I also do like that game very much. But we're going to start with 2. We're going to see how this goes. Forza Horizon, I do think, is the best racing series on the market. The best racing series ever made. I'm sure some people remember me going on record and saying that Midnight Club was my favorite of all time. Well, that has since changed. I do love Midnight Club quite a lot, but I think Forza Horizon is just unparalleled in terms of its sheer quality. Now, I do definitely have gripes about the Forza series, and I'm actually not the biggest fan of the motorsport side of this series, but Horizon in general, I have very few gripes about. So we're just going to jump on into this. And enjoy. This is really exciting, actually. I've wanted to Let's Play this game for a little while. I was introduced to this series about 3 years ago, so I'm pretty familiar with it at this point. However, I have never technically completed 2. I have completed 3, just not 2, so this is going to be a little bit of a first for me.
Open your eyes. Listen closely to the sound of my voice. With every word and every number, you move faster and faster. On the count of 10, you will be in Horizon. I say, 1. Your pulse begins to quicken. 2. Your friends rattle in the back seat. 3. You're moving faster and faster, the ocean roaring beside you. 4. Your thoughts begin to wash away in a cloud of wind and dust. 5. Colored lights flurry in the distance. 6. The lights shudder. Everything lost in a thin blue haze. 7. You hurtle faster and faster into infinity. 8. The crowd thunders. 9. You cross into a larger, more colorful world. On the count of 10, everything you've ever known fades away. You will be in Horizon. I say, 10.
I'm actually going to commentate over this part, mostly because I don't want to get copyrighted because of the music. But what an intro that is! Oh, this is exciting. I'm excited, actually.
Totally paid off. There will be a massive crowd at the dock to see your cars, so take it easy when you're coming off the ferry.
So, couldn't guess we're going to be driving that Lamborghini. It's actually on the cover of this game and everything, and you get to start by driving one of the coolest cars in the game. But unfortunately, spoiler alert, you don't get to keep it, which sucks. But it's a good test drive. But man, I gotta say, Turn 10 just does such a freaking good job with this series, and I can't wait to show it to all of you, because there's so much to be seen in this game. This is how open world exploration is done right, but in the form of a racing game. So here we go. Let's do this thing. So, one of the major features in Forza, and actually it's in a lot of racing games nowadays, but I have to say, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it, because it does kind of just make racing games easier, but you see this auto pathing on the road. This basically tells me the speed I need to be going. Whenever a red comes up, that means I need to slow down or I will not be able to make the turn. It's technically possible. If you're a mad drifter, you can make it, but it's not advisable, I suppose. I am going to zoom the camera out a little more. I do like to play as far back as possible. I know certain people like to play in cockpit views and things like that, and that's just not my style. So as you can see, I crashed there. In Forza, there is a feature where you can actually rewind and undo something that happened. So now I'm going to cut in a little sooner and avoid that altogether, just like so. As such, I'm able to pass up my competition. So it is a little bit of a cheat. And Forza is not a hard game. I will say that right off the bat. Forza Horizon is absolutely easier than something like Midnight Club is. And I'm skidding out, so I'm actually going to rewind right there. I'm going to try not to do that too much, just because it does kind of throw off the flow of the game a little bit. But it definitely does make the game a heck of a lot easier if you're able to rewind through everything. But that's okay. That's not the point of this game. The point of this game, I feel, rather than difficulty and rather than having, a lot of skill, which I clearly do not have much of since I am getting into a lot of crashes, is the exploration. That's really what makes these games so freaking amazing in my eyes. And as soon as we get through this test drive, there's definitely some opening stuff in the game that you have to get through before it really opens up. But once we get through all that, I'll be able to show it to you guys, and you'll be able to see exactly how crazy this game gets. It has an amazing map. It's absolutely massive, and it takes forever to drive through all of it. So it really does make for an exciting experience. So we got 4 miles left on our journey.
So, how was the car? As far as I know, you're one of the first people in Europe to drive that thing. There's a lot of people at the festival waiting to get a look at it. So let's get it there in one piece, yeah?
Which is honestly easy to do, because crash damage is not really something you need to worry about in this game. You can get scuffs, you can make your car less pretty, but it's always fixed by the end of the race. Like, it's not really an actual problem in this game. This ain't Burnout. That much I'll say. It's not Burnout. So you don't need to worry about those kinds of issues. And ooh, that's a tight turn. Woo! All right, we're good. In fact, I will say that one of the best advantages you can use in Forza Horizon in pretty much any race is actually using your opponents to cut off and make a turn. So for instance, I'm going to see if I can actually pull it off if we ever get to another tight turn with this. Or I could just pass them, never mind. But one of the best strategies to use is whenever you hit a really tight corner is to actually slam directly into your opponents and use them as leverage to make a turn, which is... Most games punish you for that. Forza does not. And again, like I said, this is not a game about racing skill. This is a game about exploration, I think, more than anything. So that's not to say this game can't get hard. You actually absolutely can crank up the difficulty, and you get rewarded for it too. That's another excellent thing about this game, is that the higher the difficulty is, the more the game rewards you with all sorts of currency and bonuses and things like that. So there is definitely an incentive for playing this game as hard as possible, but you absolutely don't need to, especially because you can pretty much unlock everything in this game on a relatively easy difficulty. So, although that will take hundreds, if not almost 1,000 hours to manage.
Thank you, mate. Hey, you survived. So what do you think? Perfect mixture of music and machines, right? This was a long time in the making, but it's totally worth it. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get fresh cars, and then we're off on our first road trip. But tonight, welcome to Horizon.
So the premise of Forza Horizon, and I should say right off the bat, at least in Forza Horizon 2, is that you are a member of the festival. You are part of this entire event that takes you all across Europe, in this case Italy, and you compete in all sorts of races to become the best. This is in contrast to Forza Horizon 3, where you actually become the owner of the entire festival. But we'll get into that later, obviously, whenever we get around to that game. So now they're actually going to give me a car to pick, and there's a few options. The thing you need to know about Forza Horizon, though, is that everything is separated into classes. If you pick a car that's really fast, that doesn't automatically mean you get an advantage as a result. you are automatically placed with cars in your specific class regardless, and you really can't have that much of an advantage over everyone else. I'm going to go with the BMW Z4. As much as the Toyota Supra is definitely the worst pick in my opinion, and as much as I love this Camaro Coupe, I am going to stick with the Z4 just because it is the most well-rounded of the cars. So yeah, let's hop on into this thing.
Very nice.
So I actually don't know exactly what class this puts me in, but every other racer I find on the road should be in the same class.
This is your map of the Horizon Festival. Icons like this one represent key places and events at the festival. The Horizon Heats is a great chance for you to try out your new car. Set a route there now.
All right, so now we got a little bit of a look at the map, so we're going to take that route.
I'll see you there.
But real quick, if I can exit out of this map, and then we're going to jump on in.
All of our cars come pre-tuned to 3 festival radio stations: Horizon Base Arena, Horizon XS, and Horizon Pulse.
None of which matter because I really can't play any of this music due to copyright. However, real quick, if I can, I'm actually going to take a look at the world map so you guys can see exactly how big this game is. So this is where we're at, and we're going to be heading to Castelletto. Apologies for that cut, but my smoke detector was beeping in the background, and the last thing I needed was that going on throughout this entire recording. So anyway, here is a good look at the entire map. We're going to Castelletto. Each section you'll go to is separated off, so all the races are going to take place in this area. Again, sorry for another cut. And the whole purpose of this is to basically kind of form like a relationship with each and every area, because you are going to actually be coming back here at a later point. This festival takes you all across the map in circles, all the way around it, and you move from place to place, and you actually will make repeat stops in certain areas to start a new festival with a completely different set of cars on your way throughout the game to unlock everything that you possibly can. We are not going to be going after every single thing in this game, and I am going to change the radio station by turning it off. But yeah, so we're not going to unlock every single thing in this game. That's just not something I could feasibly do, but we are going to at least try to complete the game as much as possible. So this is the first of many remarkable things that you can find throughout the game. If you go as quickly as possible, you can go through a speed zone or a speed trap, which if you go fast enough, you will actually be given experience rewards as well as other rewards as long as your score is high enough. So I'm just going to skip through here. I don't really need to actually make that turn the way the GPS wanted me to. And from here, we're going to be able to jump on into our new race. That is not the camera angle I wanted. Woo! Holy cow, that was close. All right, so let's head on in here and let's get started. We're going to at least get one race done in this episode. Oh, there's so many things to talk about, and I really just haven't had the chance to do it. That's probably my biggest criticism with this game is, I mean, it's a AAA game. They all freaking do it to you, but it is the fact that it, like, you know, kind of holds your hand at the beginning and before it finally just lets you go. So every single person that we are going to be up against, and yes, I am still talking over him, I'm not going to let him talk, is a real person, or at least a simulation of a real person. Forza has this whole thing called drivatars, which I actually have no idea what difficulty I'm on right now, so I kind of want to check that before I jump into something too easy, because I would actually like to get some good rewards. Alright, so as soon as he's done talking, let's take a look at the difficulty real quick. Medium. Yeah, I think medium will be fine. So we could set to manual, which is not something I'm going to do. That's not something I'd rather worry about. Most games don't even have that to begin with, honestly, unless you're playing like Cruisin' USA on the arcade cabinet. You got damage and tire wear, which again, every time you adjust the difficulty, you can see I get a credit bonus. I can also turn off the ability entirely to rewind things, which is something I am actually considering doing. You know what, I think I am going to do that. Damage and tire, we'll just do cosmetic for that. Traction and stability control, steering, simulation, no. Drivatar difficulty, I guess we'll just leave it on custom. I can change each of the Drivatar difficulties. Unbeatable, no thank you. We'll just go with average for now. And that's the other thing is as you go throughout the game and if you have a lot of success, the game will actually nudge you to increase the difficulty further. So if this is a little bit too much for me to handle, I can always change it. If it's too freaking easy, I can always change it, and so on. So here we go. We got to finish in the top 3. So like I said, every single one of these is a drive-atar. They are a simulation of real people and the way that and the skills that they drive at. Are they the most accurate simulations? No, I would say they're not. Mostly because they are just kind of tailored to each person's level. But like, don't take too much stock in it. Like, if your drive-atar gets beat by my drive-atar or vice versa, that doesn't automatically mean I'm a better racer than you. Like I said, you're also able to set the drive-atar difficulty, which kind of blows the whole operation out of the water, if you ask me. So I'm gonna use that to slide. There we go. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Okay. I don't have the rewind feature, so I have to remember that. Because the first time I played through this game, I actually did have that feature, so that did make a big difference. This BMW is really tail heavy, I'm actually noticing. Oh my goodness. I haven't driven this car in a very long time. Well, since I actually started the game, to be honest. Let's see if I can crash into this guy and use him to make my turn. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And from here, I kind of just need to stay in the top for the rest of the race, which honestly shouldn't be too difficult so long as I don't screw it up. And yeah, then we just continue. So I can always check behind me, see how close they are. I'm going to try not to do that too frequently either, because I know that can be absolutely nauseating to a viewer. And we should just be able to stay in the lead. And as you can see, like, even on the average difficulty, they're already falling behind like quite a lot. And I haven't even tuned this car. So like I said, this game is not difficult. And I also gave myself like a really big credit bonus, which is kind of silly. So I might be upgrading the difficulty of the drive-atars here relatively soon if we can finish this heat with ease. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the very first race. So, thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Forza Horizon 2. I hope you guys will enjoy this Let's Play as much as I know I'm going to, because I absolutely adore these games. So, thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.